Hello and welcome to the 12th of February edition of the Biweekly Contributor Experience meeting for North America. Please be advised that this meeting is under the code of conduct of the Kubernetes project, and also this meeting is being recorded and uploaded to YouTube afterwards, as usually all meetings of the Kubernetes project are done. We give everyone an option to introduce themselves. Yeah, I can start. Hi, I'm Mario. I'm one of the co-chairs of the SIG Contributor Experience. And I'm also currently one of the co-chairs of the Maintainer Summit for Europe and for North America 2025. Yes, let's start. Also, please note yourself in the meeting template. By the way, to those folks who are filling the open mic discussion, you're filling it on the February the 26th meeting, which is in 2 weeks and not this one. I know that you and Justin and agreed to have the discussion regarding the repository on the meeting on the 26th. Today is the 12th. All right. Maintainer Summit. Maintainer Summit updates. Program has been launched. We pinged a lot of folks regarding also attendance. Currently, most of the people that have registered are tech members or Kubernetes org members, not so much the from other projects, given the issue that a lot of org members from the graduated and incubating projects from other for other projects, there's not like a mailing list that is easily reachable. So
is anybody in charge of doing publicity for Maintainer Summit?
Yes, this is being done by the CNCF, and they mostly go with the maintainer CSV. We already raised the topic that the maintainer CSV might not be the best source of truth for this, and that's the reason why we now started pinging the graduated and incubating projects individually.
Okay, I mean, there's also other places like the TOC mailing list, which is a sort of general broadcast thing. For that matter, honestly, since this is the first really planned Maintainer Summit, there ought to be something on the CNCF blog.
I know that they will write something on the CNCF blog, but this is also being done by CNCF. I saw a draft of the blog, but it has not published. English is not working anymore. This has not yet been published, but I know there's something coming. Yeah, but basically we started now reaching out to each and every project, and as far as I have seen with registrations, that helped, and registrations are going up. Funny fact, tech members also registered a lot, so tech is aware of it. Or the techs are aware of it. Let's put it this way. Other than that, we got more space on the Maintainer Summit, which also opens up more rooms for the unconference session. People now can also suggest on conference topics. Those are not required to be overall project. This can also be project-specific unconference topics. The the information will also, I pinged the comms team in Kubernetes, and they are going to share the issue soon. I think it's supposed to be going out in 2 days or something like this. Beside this, yeah, we opened up the call for a design for the Kubernetes specific T-shirt. I know the deadline is rather short, but the problem was also that the whole schedule for merge, there was a lot of discussion around this, so this was pushed a little bit. But this email and notification is out, and people can basically suggest a T-shirt for the Kubernetes members of the Maintainer Summit. There will be a merge, or there will be a merge for the overall Maintainer Summit for every attendee, but Kubernetes will get a separate one. All right. Next up is mentoring. Or are there questions to Maintainer Summit? Let's put it this way. Sorry. If not, then mentoring is the next.
Okay. So first part is we have a new mentoring cohort open for SIG at CD. So, you know, either people on this call who are eligible or people who know folks who might be interested, please refer it off. As usual for these cohorts, we are not necessarily looking for students. We are looking for, in the case of code mentorship, we're looking for people who are either experienced Go programmers, maybe existing Kubernetes contributors who want to get into etcd, or even people who have already contributed to etcd who are looking to level up. Same thing with documentation, which I'm doing with Nate. We're looking for, you know, this is a level up one. So we're looking for people who either are very experienced etcd users or are experienced documentation writers. So, and link there for that. Where the CNCF mentoring folks are collecting projects for Google Summer of Code. You know, so for student internships over the summer, any SIG that has stuff should go ahead and do a blurb. I will be reaching out across the SIG sometime soon to try to inspire people to submit things.
Sounds good. Do we want to do advertisement on this?
As in comms? Yeah, probably, yeah. But I need, right now I'm waiting for Nate to tell me, okay, if somebody's going to send you a project opportunity, how do they send it to you?
Yeah, okay.
Before we do the call. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
sounds
that's, Sylvester, you're not on this call, are you?
I don't see him.
Okay. So that's it for mentoring in that case.
Okay, great. Next up is contributor comms. I can take this. So we raised on Monday an issue to, or we pinged steering to get a decision for a specific PR that was in the wake of a discussion of regarding removing X of the Kubernetes websites or not, and basically steering in the first place said it's in the responsibility of comms. Given the sensibility of the topic, we decided to raise it with steering so that steering can basically decide on a project level scale how we should handle this. The main proposal currently is like if we should remove X as a platform from all our internet things. This is not so much about not posting to X anymore. This is more like just like how we display all of our social media channels. I can share as much as that in the request that I sent to steering in the name of comms. We raised that we should list X on the website, not necessarily in the footer, but at least on an overview page where we have all of the channels to confirm that the account that is on X is actually run by the project and is not like some wild project. Because we had the case last week in LinkedIn that a company created a product which was called Kubernetes and which was found in a higher ranking than the Kubernetes site itself that we have on LinkedIn. And so people could have misread or can misread this as an official Kubernetes channel, which was not. By the way, this Kubernetes product was also reported to LinkedIn and is now also taken down. They also had other products like EC2 instance and virtualization and networking and all of those cloud networking, and all of those products basically went away. So they tried to take over stuff. But so we raised an issue with steering and we are waiting on the decision of steering on this, how we should proceed, and potentially then also write this down in the policy so that we can in future discussions just say like, that's the discussion, that's the outcome, that's the policy, please go there.
Right. One of the things I noticed in the course of this discussion is that we actually do not have a page on kubernetes.dev that lists our social media.
Yeah.
So that seems like a thing to go ahead and create.
I think Ben raised an issue even for this already. I need to look it up, but basically I said we should change it in KNS.dev, and Ben said, yep, there's the issue for it. I need to find it again, but
okay.
I agree.
Yeah,
so we should have.
Just it's one of those things of, well, of course we have a wait a minute, no, we don't. Like, because it was such an obvious thing to have that everybody assumed we'd already created it, but we in fact have not, right? Because it wouldn't be just social media; it would be like all of our communications channels, right? And break it down.
And this is a problem, and this is not a problem with Kubernetes, because when I did the outreach for Maintainer Summit for each of the projects, it became apparent that our projects are missing this like a lot.
Yeah. I swear we had something somewhere, because I remember when we started LWKD adding it to a list of like communications somewhere. But I know that we have.
I know that we have it on the community side of Kubernetes.io, but it's not maintained.
Okay.
It's when you go to Kubernetes.io/community, you have YouTube, forum, server fault, a LinkedIn icon, and when you scroll down, we have discussions. There you have suddenly X, and when you then go further down, you have a feed of X, which is also kind of weird. It's like non-consistent.
So should this community top level menu item simply redirect you to Kubernetes.dev?
I think this would potentially make sense. So we need to review, because to be honest, we still have the monthly office hours in there. The only important thing that I would see on this page are the community values and the code of conduct. that we have a place where we can put this, but yeah, it's. I think this page needs an overhaul.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll point out, given the layout of the page, I doubt anybody's seeing that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think
it
we
just
should
feels
overhaul
like
the whole page.
Yep. It just feels like it would be easier for us to maintain this information if it was all on Kubernetes.dev.
Yeah.
Because for good reasons, making modifications to Kubernetes.io is harder. So okay, so this is now a bigger task than I was really thinking of, but
I mean,
but a necessary task.
And the good thing is, if we have it only on Kubernetes.dev, it's one place to maintain and not two places to maintain, because eventually it will digress again.
Yeah.
And also we get people over to Kubernetes.dev.
Yeah. Yep. Now, obviously, one of the things that we're facing is the great domain renaming, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I would wait now for the steering decision overall, so that we have like guidance on this whole topic, and then we can basically continue there.
Well, except that regardless of what the decision is on individual social media accounts, we need a place to list them. So these are parallel activities.
Yeah. Beside this, there was nothing in comms, or nothing particular. The only thing that we need to start beginning of next month is KubeCon coverage. All right. Any other topics regarding contributor communications?
I did have one thing, but the requisite people are not here, so we'll skip it.
All right. Then we have contributor documentation. Anything there? If not, we go over to moderation and media. I would argue that we could add buffer here now. So yeah, we have now Blue Sky and buffer, which is good, because now we can also automate stuff for Blue Sky. So this brings now Blue Sky to the same level as we have with X.
Nice. Okay.
GitHub management. We looked over some repositories, and there was we found a repository that was quite old and not used whatsoever, which means that we've created an issue for archiving the repository, and it was Kubernetes -6/6 GitHub actions. Let me put in the link to the issue in the meeting minutes. Yeah, that's this one. Basically, we already have a consensus on archiving it. We are now only waiting for the original requesters who have been mentioned in the issue, if we should still if there are any objections against archiving it, because we don't want to have old, not used repositories lying around. Any questions to this? And thanks, Josh, for already putting it in. The triaging, the re-triaging issue, we basically also got a consensus there that we agree that this behavior should be changed. However, this should be raised to dev at Kubernetes.io once the PR is there. And Ben already said that he will take this up, so that we can basically get lazy consensus on this, if we should implement this change or not. ContribEx is pro doing this, but we also want to give everyone the opportunity to speak up, because this is a project-wide change, of course. Yeah. Any remarks on this? No. Then elections.
Yeah, thanks to a new contributor in Electo, we are making progress on comprehensive unit tests for Electo.
Nice.
As opposed to just tests for the vote counting, which we had before, but not for things like the interface. So I don't know whether or not we'll get that done in time for us to actually attempt case insensitivity for the next Kubernetes election. We'll see. Just because I'm not expecting that to be easy, because we already tried a naive version of case insensitivity and it broke a lot of things. The difference is we'll know what it broke before, we'll know comprehensively what it broke with the testing, but that doesn't mean it'll be easy to fix. So we'll see. Other than that, we're still 3 months away from needing to pick election officers. So, and otherwise stuff kind of runs itself.
Yeah, and we concluded the COC election, right? Already.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, steering runs that, and and Electo might not be case insensitive, but it is self-driven. So, presumably they concluded that, but I haven't seen an announcement of new code of conduct members.
I saw a vote a vote listing created, but I don't saw an announcement yet. Yeah, you're right.
So,
all right. Any other questions to elections? If not,
nope.
We are for open mic.
Well, I wanted to bring up, so we had a chairs and TLs meeting yesterday on the calendar, which I ended up leading with no advance notice, which meant I wasn't really prepared for it. And discussing there, as I understand, there might be some problem with calendar notifications for that meeting, such that even the ContribEx leads are not necessarily being notified of it, which is why y'all did not prepare the meeting.
To be honest, I saw it this morning in a completely off calendar that I don't use. And I need to check why this happened.
Okay.
And also, I guess the problem was that most of ContribEx leads are out of office currently.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one that is more or less around currently. Yeah, and
Okay.
also we had another meeting this morning, so there was another SIG chairs. Sorry, this morning European time, which is 8 a.m. Central European time, which is and I don't know if this happened, to be honest.
Yeah. If you were not involved, I can guess that it didn't.
I don't know. Maybe Priyanka did it.
Yeah.
But I would need to ping her.
Well, the other thing we do is look at the notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently doing.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is an issue of, I mean, like, there's several of us who can run the meeting if we know in advance that we're going to be running the meeting.
Yeah.
Um,
But did actually show someone up yesterday?
Yeah, about 5 people showed up.
Huh.
Because they have it on their calendars. But
oh. Now I see the note. Sorry.
Yeah, and it looks like there was not an Asia and Europe meeting, just the one that we had yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, we need to follow up on that because it's actually ContribEx's responsibility to run that meeting.
Yeah.
And there was stuff, and I thought of some things at the last minute, but of course, because we hadn't sent out reminders, the majority, there wasn't high turnout at that meeting, and some things didn't occur to me until after we chatted and people signed off, like Google Summer Code.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out a way that this is one of those things. I forever wanted a widget, not just for ContribEx, but also for some of my other communities, where I can have a widget that can look at a meeting that's going to happen, say, 3 working days from now, and send me a reminder that we need to do prep for the meeting automatically, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't found anything to do that, and the Google Calendar API is a friggin' nightmare.
To be brutally honest, I'm still the calendar invite for the ContribEx leadership meeting is still failing me. It's somewhere, and I'm still like copying out the manually the invite into my other calendar because it's broken, and I need to figure this out.
Yeah, more leads group thing.
Yeah. I think I think the main problem is that I'm with 2 email addresses everywhere. So I'm with my work email address and with my private email address, and I think that's the main issue. We had a chat about this.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did, and it's a pain, right? Because, like, for me, yes, I should just go in and replace my work one with one of my personal Google IDs everywhere because of sharing, except that my default browser container is my work account.
Yeah.
So I kind of need my work account also.
Or at least have the other calendar inside of your work calendar as a calendar so that you actually can see and get notifications. But I don't necessarily want my private calendar linked into my work calendar.
Oh, I do that, but if you've done that before, Google Calendar's display for that information is utterly terrible.
I know that the other way around
it doesn't help me
work.
with Google Docs at all. It doesn't help with Google Docs at all, which is the big problem, right? Calendar sharing will annoying actually kind of works. Google Docs permissions runs afoul of corporate information protection policies. And that's where it becomes a problem. Okay, at this point we're just chatting. Anybody have anything else?
Exactly.
I think we've lost everybody actually. So
Somil, you have your hand raised.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I have a so this is for the first time I'm joining the meeting, so I have no
welcome.
context what is happening. Yeah, thank you. Uh, so I have no context what's happening, what's going on. So just if you could just give me a brief overview what actually happens, how can I contribute?
Yeah, so basically those bi-weekly meetings that we have here are, you could say, like status updates and work meetings, like where you say like what is actually going on in the different subgroups in the different parts of the community, and sometimes there are tasks being created out of it. So, I mean, for example, one of the things that we discussed were the move content over to Kubernetes.dev, which is eventually will become a task that someone needs to do. However, this usually takes some more time and some more discussion and issue creation and stuff like this. So the best thing is really what you already did, is basically joining the meeting and slowly getting a grasp onto what's going on, who is who is in those meetings and what is being discussed. We have a couple of evergreen tasks in different subgroups. For example, in comms we have comms we have like writing spotlight blocks and stuff like this. And I don't know if you have joined the new contributor orientation meeting once, or watched one of the recordings. There we also explain how the structure of the Kubernetes project is working, and how you can basically start your contribution path into the community. So yeah, that's the quick and rough overview of what's being done.
Okay. No, actually, I didn't attended that the first meeting, orientation meeting. So I think I skipped that one uh, because I think the timings were not matching. I was at work. Uh, yeah, but
Yeah.
I joined one of the scheduler meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like I joined it and everything went off my head. Uh,
I mean,
so like I just wanted to know from where I can start so that I have a basic context or projects with where I can like start working on reading on at least taking some
that's it's a good thing to join those meetings, because basically with those meetings you get you get slowly into it, and it's completely normal that people are feeling overwhelmed when they join those bi-weekly or weekly meetings, because it's a lot. It's very specific. Kubernetes works in its own, let's say, mysterious ways sometimes, and it's hard for people to get in. But those meetings basically will give you more and more context. There, the key is more or less to be consistent, and if you also are interested in first learning the structure, I put into the chat the link to the new contributor orientation sessions. There you can also see a page that leads you to GitHub, that will share a little bit more of information. And you can also watch one of the recordings of those meetings, because as mentioned in the beginning of this call, all meeting calls of Kubernetes are being recorded and uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, got it. Uh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, one last question, a very silly question though. Like, how would you suggest me? So, like, what would the best way? like I should attend all the meetings for whatever projects are going on, and then decide that what like really intrigues me. Or
Funny thing, we talk about exactly this inside of the new contributor orientation. So my recommendation is when you go to github.com/kubernetes/community, you basically have an overview of all of the different SIGs and all of the different parts of how Kubernetes is being structured. And there you can always have how to say it, you have a README file for all of the special interest groups that quickly describe what each of the special interest groups are doing. And then I would suggest that you read through them and then decide what fits best in your skill set or in your field of interest, and then join those meetings.
oh, got it. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions, remarks? If not, I would say we end this meeting early. And I wish everyone a pleasant day. I will take the TL and chair meeting things with me, and also the Kubernetes dev listing. All right. Have a great week. See you in any other meeting. Bye, folks.
Bye-bye. Thanks.